You wouldn't believe that. That is an introductory to a boxing match, would you? Of course you would, and that's why we played it. Because I'm delighted to have in my studio this afternoon, friend of the show. How does that sound? It sounds
That's
really
right,
good.
yeah.
Friend of the show, Amy Greatorex, who we are very proud to say is a female boxer from Chesterfield. Amy, as a child, you couldn't be less interested in sport and became overweight as an adult. Discovering a passion for boxing at the age of 30, you decided to pursue a professional boxing career. I bet you can't believe how life has turned out, can you?
It's been a bit of a crazy journey, yeah.
Yeah, I bet it has. I mean, it's an amazing story, actually, and we talk a lot about boxing and your profession off air, and hopefully we'll be able to tell the listeners all about it during this next 25 minutes or so. Amy, since you last visited us, you've had several fights. Thank goodness for that. What's been happening with your boxing career since you last featured on my show?
So I finally had my debut. That didn't go quite to plan. We had a bit of a mess up beforehand, obviously, change of opponent and all that. But it was an amazing experience, and it didn't deter me. We then decided to go on the road and fitted in another 5 fights after that, so it's been a busy year.
Yeah, that first fight, that went the full distance, didn't it? So you lost on do they call that a technical knockout, or do they just call it a points win?
Just a points win.
Right, okay. So, yeah, I did see that, and for a first fight, I mean, you've done amazingly well. I did notice that you were probably waiting for your opponent to come at you as to taking the initiative. You don't want me saying this, do you?
No,
not at all. I don't want to say anything out of order. Whatever you say goes, honestly. So how did you feel about everyone pulling together to get you that debut boxing belt?
Well, obviously, just before my debut happened, the original opponent had pulled out. We'd got a new opponent stepping in. And then I found out that I had to sell more tickets to be able to fight, and that was only a few days before my debut was meant to happen, and it was a horrible time.
Yeah.
Obviously thinking that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I just put a tweet out, not thinking anyone would see it because I didn't have many followers. I didn't hashtag it, just to say, I've got to make this much money, so I can fight. And then it went crazy. It went viral. I had several big professional boxers and broadcasting people send me money so I could fight, and obviously that happened, and I was humbled by that. Like little old me from Chesterfield, getting all these people together to help me to have my debut, and it was amazing. It still is. Just
tell the listeners, because we've had a private conversation off air about those ticket sales and how it works, because it took me by surprise.
So if you are a home fighter, you've got to sell tickets to be able to fight, basically, because you pay for your opponent out of your ticket sales, and then obviously you've got to pay for, everyone's got to make some money on it. So if you don't sell enough tickets, you either have to pay for those things out of your own pocket, or you don't get to fight. And obviously, as myself, I'm self-employed, so I can't afford to pay for it out of my own pocket because I have to pay to work myself. So it is a hard thing. It's worth it because it is an amazing thing to be able to fight professionally. But it is a massive stress having to sell tickets and get people saying to you, yeah, I'll buy a ticket, and then you don't hear from them ever again.
No, it's very much like sales. It's the same thing, and people don't. They say yes in front of you, and then you've got to keep chase. And I didn't realise that you had to go through that. It's a really pressurised situation when you've got to sell tickets, otherwise you don't fight. And I didn't realise that. I thought it was a promoter who put them, and of course it is in the big fights, the big heavyweight championships of the world. A promoter takes care of all that. I can't see that the boxer themselves saying, right, okay, I've got to do some ticket sales. It just happens for them. It's a hard apprenticeship when you get into the professional boxing world, isn't it, to have to do that?
It is, yeah. So obviously you've got to focus on your own training and make sure you get everything right with that, as well as having to hold down another job to survive, basically. So all that stress of that alone, and then trying to chase people for ticket sales and have that thing in the back of your mind of, I need to sell X amount of tickets, otherwise I can't fight. It's a massive stress.
Yeah, you got your first win in Harrow in September, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Against WBC Indian champion Sanjita Birdie. Can you tell us how that fight went and how you thought it went?
Well, we got there, weighed in, we got put into this room, but basically underground. It was in a big sports hall, and we got put into this room, and it was like being in the Sahara Desert. It was red hot. No windows, no anything. It was red hot. And we were, I think, second to last on, so we were in there for hours and hours. Got in there. She come in with all the the flags, the belt,
all
and
the
all
entourage.
this. Yeah, all the jazz basically.
Yeah.
And we're just stood in the corner like, yeah, all right. Obviously, fight got underway, went into it, and I wasn't actually 100% on that fight. I think I was fighting at probably about 70%. I'd been ill and had injuries before that. But because I'd gone in so confident, I just went with it. We had her promoters and fans and things in my corner shouting over my coach when we was in the break, so
Really?
I couldn't hear what they were saying half the time. So that felt a bit almost bullying. So got to the end, my arm was raised, obviously an amazing thing, but then I got to have my photos taken, and the promoter came over and he was banging on the side of the ring saying, "Get her out my ring."
What?
Yeah, he didn't
For
want
what
me there.
reason?
Because I'd beaten his champion.
Right.
I wasn't happy about it.
When she came on with her entourage of flag waving people and everything, that would get under my skin. Did it you, or you were a professional and said, like, oh, okay, c'est la vie?
I basically laughed it off.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought, we're still in small hall boxing. I'm thinking, it's a bit show off, isn't it? It's not me. I'm not like that. So if someone wants to do that, let them do it. But I'm just going to take it in my stride, basically, and it gives me a bit more ammunition to beat them, basically.
So it fired you up.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Good for you. Your last fight against Ellie Helliwell ended in a stoppage. Just talk us through what happened during that fight.